Yep, there you go. Thanks.
Okay, so the basic idea behind decency rules is that you have a single authoritative figure and he tells you what you can or cannot do. Now unfortunately, this is not very pleasing, and because of that, many college campuses are protesting these rules and doing so because they no longer have any more relevant place in our campuses today.
It's in the students' best interest that these rules not be pushed forward as laws because they take a toll on the students' creativity, individuality, and sense of self-expression.
Entering college, we're all told to explore ourselves as individuals because we're finally able to offer our true opinions on matters and actually potentially change things around campus.
Decency laws on campus basically place shackles on the newfound freedoms we so tirelessly worked for in the first place. And in the simplest terms, they're basically just a means to control creativity and student individuality.
More specifically, decency laws cause rebellion, hinder education, and cause conformity, essentially keeping students from exploring their rights as individuals. With that said, I will start off by explaining how decency laws are the roots of rebellion. When decency laws are put into place, they tend to make certain things and activities seem forbidden. The idea of something being off limits to us tends to intrigue us as humans. Putting it simple, we tend to want what we can't have. The story of Adam and Eve represents this quality we have. God told Adam and Eve that they could stay in the Garden of Eden and eat any food they like as long as they didn't eat that one fruit from that one tree. Temptation took over though, and Eve ate the forbidden fruit. She was curious. It is in our nature to be curious, so naturally we like to explore things we are told we can't. The same concept applies to when we create decency laws. Students will attempt to try what is considered prohibited. This is relatable to the present situation surrounding underage drinking. According to studies by Johns Hopkins School of Public Health, 48% of all alcohol use reported on college campuses was consumed by underage students. This is because alcohol is seen as an enticing, forbidden fruit. Therefore, students want to try it. If we create more decency laws, the same effect will begin to occur. Instead, if we decriminalize the actions under question, not only would it take out rebellion, because there would be nothing to rebel against, but it could possibly decrease the percentage of people committing these questionable acts of indecency. A case that supports this ideal is Portugal's decision to decriminalize the usage of all drugs. In 2001, the country had some of the highest rates of hard drug use in Europe. Tired of nothing helping the problem, the country decided to do the unthinkable, legalize possession and offer therapy instead of jail time. 10 years later, after the decision was made and has remained in place, the drug abuse rates have decreased by half of what they were. Although the example is on a bigger scale, the same concept can still apply. If we decriminalize acts of indecency, we could decrease the indecent acts committed, and there would no longer be an appeal to rebel against them.
That's a very good point. Another one is that censoring self-expression on college campuses degrades the quality of education that the campuses are able to provide. Take, for example, the Gazette, a student-run paper at the University of Western Ontario. They ran a satirical piece called "So You Want to Date a Teaching Assistant." The piece outlined specific strategies such as Facebook stalking, dropping in on office hours, and dressing to attract. Backlash was quick, and due to many students and staff that were a little hard of humor and didn't really get the real message of this satirical piece. The message was that you need to know when to give up. At the end of the day, TAs are there to guide you through the curriculum, so there's a good chance you have to be okay with that and only that. The TA union called for the article to be taken down, and after an intervention from the university provost, the Gazette removed the piece from their online website and they apologized. Basically, they were promising that they were going to report more responsibly in the future and that they wouldn't think in the same way again. It's these kinds of environments that stifle the open debate and discussion about any topic that anyone might find a little offensive. It's environments like these that operate more like a cult and less like a culture. We don't come to college to be coddled and protected from ideas that make us uncomfortable. We came here to be exposed to new ways of thinking because it's these conversations that lay the groundwork for innovation and prepare us for the world after graduation.
Liberty University is another place that has a lot of conformity rules. There, you're not allowed to have free speech as long as it doesn't offend God. Now, the way college is supposed to work is that you're given an environment where you're supposed to create new ideas and to think of new approaches to solve new problems. However, ingenuity and conformity never mix together. In other words, when a college tries to get you to inform, it doesn't allow you to create new ideas. This creates a paradox where the college itself is actually not letting you become the best you can be, as in the case of Liberty University. Mr. Keyes is actually a doctoral student here at UGA, and he did an article with a newspaper where he said that he's worried that colleges aren't doing enough to remove conformity rules on campuses that were placed there 50 years ago, such as the idea that you can't express political views because they might offend other people. He says that these rules are stupid and they're pointless because they do nothing more than wear down the student body.
We go through college to become thinkers and doers, individuals. Decency laws stifle the individuality that college campuses strive to have in their student body. Now, we have decency. Decency laws are enacted to keep individuals in check. It's supposed to maintain order among the different classes and walks of life of the different students, encompassing the multitude of students attending this university. Now, is there a problem with these decency laws? Yes, because what is decent for all may not be decent to some. For example, it's considered extremely rude to show the bottom of your foot to someone in a Middle Eastern country. Well, we have Middle Eastern students attending the university. Would it not behoove the university to incorporate laws that would be considered decent to those students? No. No, it would not. Because more guidelines for conformity turns their good intentions of decency into a fascist regime seeking cookie-cutter students rather than individuals. And that cuts out the entire purpose of college, college expression of individuals expressing themselves.
The same impacts are happening on much larger scales than just on college campuses. Take Singapore, for example. They have one of the highest number of decency laws in the world. So it's illegal to walk around your own house naked in Singapore, and you can go to jail for spitting on the sidewalk. So some people may say that Singapore is safe, but the laws that they've put in place in Singapore take a severe role on the citizen's psyche. So if you take a look at the 2015 Hofstede's report, which the Hofstede's report is basically an analysis of cultures across the world. So we've compared Singapore's with the United States. So you can see that their power distance, they're the gray, their power distance, which is the recognition of a hierarchical society, that score is very high. So they realize that there is a hierarchy, obviously, in their society. But what the scores we really wanted to focus on is the individualism score and the uncertainty avoidance. Uncertainty avoidance is the citizen's ability to cope with not knowing the future and what the future holds. And so that is extremely low, and so is the individuality score for the citizens in that country. So you can see that there's a direct relation between the number of laws that they have in their country directly related to the morality of their citizens, and it definitely takes a toll on their ability to think for themselves.
At best, the opposition will have only one good point. We get cleaner sidewalks. So now you have to ask yourself, is it really worth getting cleaner sidewalks more than having your freedom of speech removed or having shackles put on your creativity? What people who support decency rules always love to say is that it's for the greater good, when in truth it's just that the authority gets the greater good because they get to decide what's good and what's bad and what they want to hear. Not only can this be bad for campus, but our society as a whole.
And as the known psychologist Robert Linder once said, man is rebel. He is committed by his biology not to conform. And herein lies the paramount reason for the awful tension he experiences today in relation to society.
All right. Well, that made me very uncomfortable. So thanks for that weird TA article.
I honestly didn't think about
You
it.
came to that after researching the speech and not you already knew about it.
No, yeah.
Carol wrote it.
I honestly didn't think about that until last night.
I didn't even
But I
know
was
that
like,
was going in there.
it's way too late to like take that on. So, oh, how do you? I think it's this button. I think it's this button.
Pointing at me.